welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to do a horoscope for Joe Biden, the President of the United States in America. So we're going to look at his chart, and then I'm going to do some cards. So we'll see what I can get on Mr. Joe Biden. So again, this is for entertainment purposes only. So I'm going to be non-judgmental, and I read people. It's come from a heartfelt space, and you're non-judgmental. But anyway, let's just see what's coming up for Joe Biden, and let's look at his astrology chart. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen so I can show you his chart, and we can go from there. We can start the horoscope. So let me just share my screen with you. Okay, so this is Joe Biden's chart. So this is where I've got his birthdays being the 20th of November, 1942 at 8:30 a.m. is what I got off the internet. And he was born, obviously, in America. Okay. So I have done some of his chart before. In my couple of years ago, I did a election video on him and Trump. He had Jupiter at that point. I remember he had Jupiter in his second house, so it was really hard to tell because of the other planets he had there. But Jupiter got him into the White House. So I did think it might have been more Trump, but anyways, we move on. But what I will say about him, as I said in that video too, he does not have leadership qualities in his chart. It's Jupiter obviously brought him in that job. So it was in the second house. So it brought him that luck. It gave him that job there. But when I look at his chart, unlike the chart that I saw of the Queen, if you look at that chart, that video horoscope that I did in my channel, you'll see the one I did for Queen Elizabeth. And with her chart, you can clearly see that she was born to rule, that she was born to be a leader, a queen. It's all there in her chart. When I go to Joe Biden, his, on the other hand, is a little bit different. So he's an ascending Sag, so he comes across, he can come across as being probably youthful, maybe not. We're seeing him a bit. Actually, no, he does, because the way how he says things like, come on, man, like you wouldn't expect that to come out of someone of his age. You wouldn't expect, that's a sort of a youngish thing to say, sort of. So he does come across as being very young. Sagittarians are risk takers, so he come across as being maybe a risk taker as well, with that Sag ascending. And he's also Sagittarians like to travel, and they don't like to be trapped. Now, his sun sign is in Scorpio, and then his moon is in Taurus. So he has a lot of Scorpio in his chart. As I said, I don't feel like this is a very trustworthy person. He can keep secrets. This is a person who, with a lot of planets in their 12th house, can, number one, keep a lot of secrets, but have a lot of karmic. He brings a lot of karmic energy in from a previous life into this life with him. And being that Scorpio sun, Scorpios are they can be a little bit manipulating. They can keep secrets. They're very they can be very loyal. Scorpios can be very loyal, but they make not good enemies. You don't want to make an enemy of a Scorpio because they have that stinger there. It can be quite manipulating and vindictive a little bit there. Sorry for any Scorpios out there. But you can be very loyal, though. You're a very loyal sign. And with that Taurus moon, it would make him very, very stubborn. So he's a very stubborn energy. Now, he's got nothing in the first. He's not born with anything in the first house, second, third, fourth. But he's born with that moon in the fifth. So the fifth house is relationships. He gets very emotional in relationships. So he probably is sort of unknown. He can get maybe a bit nervy. When I build this up to the seventh house, which is a marriage house, he's always going to have problems with any partner that he's in, or with relationships. He probably always has problems, and he gets a bit emotional about them. Now, when I look at his sixth house, which is the health house here, where we have the Uranus there. Now, it's funny. So Uranus, it's on the cusp of the 6th and 7th, so the energy could go both ways, both houses there. But his destiny point is coming up, so it's coming up to him being some unexpected energy. Actually, that would have been the end of last year coming in. So there's an unexpected, I guess, twist in his life lesson, or something came up with his life lesson, would have come up last year. This now the true node is moving through his 6th house, so definitely something maybe for him to look at his health. But with this Uranus here, it can be unexpected things in the health house. So sudden events can happen to him to do with health or general. The sudden events can happen to him. It could be like hemorrhaging, ruptures, or something, unexpected health events. Usually when people have Uranus here, you'll find just they have unexpected things happen in there to do with their health. Like they might unexpectedly, I don't know, fall and they sprain their ankle. Just unexpected, might get an unexpected illness, anything. You just don't know with Uranus. You just don't. It's unpredictable. Then we go up into the 7th house. I said with that Saturn, he craves. Now with this Saturn here, he has problems. I said problems with relationships. So his marriage probably is not gone smooth for him. But he needs something certain, like he needs certainty. He needs a dependable partner. And he doesn't have that person he can depend on that's going to make him feel secure. He's going to feel really not great. So he needs that secure energy around him in a partner. And in the 8th house, which is money from other people, he does have luck. So this is probably what's helped him along the way in his life, the luck of money from other people. But then we've got the Pluto here. So he's probably a person that can probably have debt, can save money up, but then it disappears, keeps coming and going. He's probably, I know Americans are very religious, but he probably has his own, I would dare say he'd probably have his own idea in terms of religion. I don't think he's probably that, even though he probably makes himself maybe out to be, to try and get on with people. But yeah, I don't think he's really like that. But he's also a man that probably likes to also be comfortable, have nice things around him, but he's just a very stubborn man. Now, in his 9th house, which is where his life lesson is, so he's born with the true node in 9th with that Chiron there. He's definitely probably didn't like school, probably not good, maybe not even good at school, might not have been that great at it. But his life lessons in his house. The 9th house is about education. It's sort of psychic. It's also travel. So maybe even when he's been traveling, it probably hasn't gone that well. His trips that he's gone on. But here, the true node in Virgo, which says, like here, I've got the path of service. So he actually is destined to be a path of service, be service to others, or path of service. Soul is learning to be of service to others without thought of reward, recognition, or validation. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, so that's probably why he's in politics. But you know what? He probably does. I feel like he's that person that does want recognition, who sort of wants the pat on the back to say he is doing a good job, even though, whatever you think, good or bad. Now, being in the 9th house with this true node, the soul is on an eternal quest for meaning and must align with divine purpose. So he's on a mission his life lesson in his lifetime is to find a mission of meaning. He needs to be on a path and have some sort of meaning in his life and, do really, I guess, good things. Has he fulfilled that destiny? Well, I'm not sure. That's up to, I guess, the individual. Only one we can all judge, but as I said, we're not going to judge him here. I'm going to sort of leave out what I think out about this that's going on. He got Neptune in 10th. Neptune in 10th means you be of service. So what you do in your career, you're of service, which again aligns being a politician. They're of service. Then here he's got in the also must add to this Uranus in the 6th. As I said, the energy can go into the 7th, which means unexpected in relationships. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of unexpected stuff coming up to him in relationships. Yeah, I just feel like we'll get to that with the cards. Back over here in the 11th house with the Mars. So he's someone who probably has a bit of arguments with friends, but I dare say that it's so close to that 12th house, he probably also finds he hides his anger, he hides his frustration. But as I said, he brings a lot of karmic load, like load in here. So he's someone who has Venus in the 12th, his sun has got Mercury, and I guess that Mars is almost in the 12th there. So he's with the sun, he brings karmic, he brings karmic like from the dad, from the father. So there's so he brings in some sort of karmic to do with the father issues. So maybe he might have some father issues, or his dad may have had issues. So it relates to him in his life. He brings love issues in from a past life. There's also Mercury here. The reason that also I find he's not a good communicator, his Mars is in the 12th house, but not Mars, Mercury is in the 12th house, so it's hidden. And even with the Mars being there, it's like his strength is hidden. We don't see him as a very strong president. He doesn't talk like he's a very strong president. And we had like Trump would speak, he has more authority or more power, and other presidents that have spoken in the past, they've got a lot more hate them. You've a bit more oomph about them than this guy. This guy doesn't have a lot of energy because the Mars is hidden. His Mercury, so his communication, it's all hidden. So he doesn't have that to help him. It's all, yeah, he just can't. It's just not who he is. Then what we got with transit. So, okay, we can see here, as I said, back when he got the presidency, whether it was fake or not fake, gotta be careful what we say here. Whatever you believe, he's been known as the president. Jupiter was there. Now, he did have Saturn and he had Pluto, so I knew there was problems coming in. Now, the Saturn has just coming out of the second house because of the earnings. Right now, he's got the Mars and Venus, Mercury. So a lot happening here with his to do work with him in his second house. He's probably feeling more confident in communicating right at the present moment. He's probably feeling maybe stronger, but behind the scenes, he'll be getting frustrated and arguments. I have a feeling that he's he doesn't know why people don't like him. I kind of feel like he's sort of saying, why aren't they liking me? Why don't people like me? And, it's I can see why in his chart, why they don't like him. But he's just, I feel like he's questioning that. And I feel like that's causing a bit of frustration there. Now with this Pluto, it's constant change in the earnings. So, there's probably more I do feel there's more changes coming up for him. Sometimes when you can have this planet here, it can also mean retirement. So, he might look at, leaving the White House or leaving the presidency with this planet. It is a slow moving planet. So, it could happen, but this transit's still got a while to go in this house. It will get a little bit better for him because Saturn's moving out of the second. Saturn has had problems. However, Saturn in the third can be problems with neighbors, or even could even be social circles. So, relationships for him, it's still not going to clear up. It's beginning better with relationships. So Jupiter is going to soon move into his fourth later on in the year. So about April. In the fourth house, he does have Neptune and Chiron. So at home, so in the White House, it's probably a madhouse there for him. He's not probably been liked. It's his pain, a lot of problems that are happening with him in that house or wherever he's living, whether it be physical problems like taps leaking, electricity not working well. It's physical problems as well as inside, like family not getting along. I saw recently to do with his son. That's probably causing him a bit of issue, a bit of strife there. The Neptune can be also movement. So he could move. So he might not stay in the White House. Now, he might have a lot of moves coming up for him too. There could be dissolving the family. So there's definitely a family dissolving around him, whether it be through he gets divorced, someone leaves the home. There's definitely a dissolve aspect with him in this fourth house. Again, these planets are slow moving, so it can happen now, but over the years as well, because these planets are quite slow. Jupiter's the fastest one. As I said, Jupiter in April will then meet the Chiron and the Neptune in his 4th house, and that will give him a bit of luck. So there'll be a bit of luck coming up for him in this. I kind of feel like it might be more sympathy than luck that's going to come out with him, but we'll do some cards and we'll do some more after we do the chart. And then the 5th house has got Uranus. The 5th house is relationships, it's children. Again, that thing that came out that I saw with his son, probably unexpected for him that's come out because he's got Uranus here. It's all coming up. So more unexpected coming up for him within the family too. But yeah, as I said before, I don't feel like I would trust this person. And with the sort of Scorpio energy, he hides a lot. This man has a lot of secrets and a lot of secret dealings, I'm going to say, with him. Okay. So let's do some cards. So I'm going to pretend that, we're doing a reading with Joe Biden. He's here. He's, let's do tarot cards, because I find tarot cards are very, very cutthroat. So sometimes I want a definite answer. I'll use my tarot cards. I'm going to use I love my cat cards. Okay, let's have a look here at Joe Biden. Let's go to Joe Biden. Mr. Joe Biden in America. I see a lot of the fracture going on, and I feel like he felt like he was going to be loved. I feel like he felt like coming into this role that he had got it. Look, as I said before, I do feel like that the election maybe wasn't the way how it went through wasn't maybe I'm going to say ethical. I'm going to say that. So I do feel like the way he got in wasn't ethical. I'm going to say that. But to him, he feels like, he's paid his way, paid his dues. This is his turn. And as I said, he feels like, why don't people love me? Why aren't I liked? I feel like this is really coming on in his brain as well. He's I feel like he's really thinking about his mom for some reason, his mom. He would have been very close to his mum, actually. The moon in the 5th house, he would have had a good relationship with his mum. And you would have seen her as a very stubborn lady, but I feel like he's sort of thinking about his mum. But anyway, let's look at what's going on. I do feel like for him, though, I'm going to say, I do feel it's a life-changing event for him. I know there could be a move, definitely move, or either something positive happening at his home, or move possibly happening next year for him, which I'll probably cover more that next year. But coming into, and even with Jupiter going into the 4th house this year, there definitely could be a move or some positive things happening to him around the home. There might be decorate, do something. But I feel like there's a life-changing event happening for him and around. As I said in my 2022 predictions, I said March. I'm feeling maybe even April this thing could happen to him. What I'm seeing, I'm not going to say exactly what I'm seeing, just because of what I am seeing. But what I am seeing is that it's going to be an event that's life-changing, and that's going to be an event. I kind of feel like what's going to happen is going to be caused by China. So I do feel like something's going to happen directly to him. I kind of feel like China's behind it. I'm going to say it's life-changing for him. That's what I'm going to say about it. I do feel like this is happening in March, maybe even April. I feel like he's going to be stopped. I have a feeling that this guy, especially with the planet that Pluto in the 2nd, I don't feel like he's going to make the full term of this presidency. I just don't feel like he's going to be there until the end. I kind of don't. As I said before, I'm not a doctor, but I do feel like he has some health issues going on. I feel like it's to do with a bit of the heart. But I said I'm not. There's a lot of uneasiness. I feel like when I connect to him, there's a lot of uneasiness with him. I feel like he does get a bit nervous, especially now. He's a bit, he's just frustrated. He wants loyalty. He's not a leader. He's not a Leo. He wants loyalty. And I feel like with him, everything's he wants balance, but, and I feel like there's just, at the moment, there's a lot of sharks around him. I feel like things are gonna fall around him. I kind of feel like at the moment he's sort of going, he's been dodging bullets there with him. Yeah, okay. I kind of feel like, how many cards have I got here? I like to make things even, so I can put the picture up for you. He's definitely on a quest. Look, he's on a quest. He's on a quest to find out, I feel like, who he is, where he's going. There's also some communication issues coming up with him. I feel like that he's really in negotiating things behind the scenes, and I feel like it's to do with money. I feel like he wants to take America. This man is like a dreamer. He's dreaming of reality that doesn't exist. That's what I feel like with him. He's dreaming of this thing, like he thinks that he wants to be the king, but he's falling short, and he doesn't trust people around him. Feels very insecure. This is the first card that came out, and I feel like he feels very insecure. I do feel like there are spies or people around him who are really I feel like this man, he is being the puppet. So I feel like there's someone above him or someone behind him trying to pull the strings, but I kind of feel like he's like a loose cannon. Even though they're trying to control him, they're trying to manipulate him, he's not there. He just doesn't have the capacity to follow the instructions, and he feels like he can do it himself, and he feels like he's got all the backing, but I kind of feel like everything's going to fall around him. I do feel like in the cards, there's battle, there's a war energy, like there's fighting going on behind the scenes. This is not, I do feel like the wife does give him security, but even her, she's like, there's an unstableness in this relationship. She's like, she's unsure, and I feel like with her, it's this, I get this feeling like, should I stay or should I go in this relationship? Because I feel like it's a very one-sided relationship that she's in. I feel like she's constantly trying to give, and she's trying to cover up for him. So I feel like she's trying to cover up for him and trying to make things look okay. It's like a puppet show. It's like they're trying to use smoke and mirrors here to try and make things better, and it's not. And it's like they're trying to, with this card, and I'm seeing with this card, it's like they're trying to, like, everything's falling. Like, it's like that movie where you're trying to run and all the roads falling behind you, and like the lava that's coming up, and there you make it. That's them. They're trying to run. The ground's coming up from underneath them. So I really feel like it's a upheaval. Really, I feel like this man wants to rest. I feel like he wants to take his time. He wants to rest. He wants to enjoy the life. He wants to enjoy the things that's coming around him. He knows what he's doing is not good when he's there. I just feel like he's preparing, and I feel like he's preparing for war. I just feel like there's a war coming around. It's preparing for enemies that are around him, and even globally. He's not a good communicator, as I said in the chart. It says it right there. He's not a good communicator. He's being quite stuck. What I want to say though, don't get him. Even though I said he hides his anger, he would be, way how his anger comes up, and being in a Scorpio, vindictive. He'd be very vindictive with you, make him angry. He will try and get you, and he will try and use back doors. And that's what I'm saying. I don't really trust this guy. And I look at the chart, and I tune into his energy. I just feel like there's this unstableness coming in, and I just feel like there's this thing that's coming up for him. But I see this event coming up for him. As I say, I just see it's been life changing. March. Like I said, so March, April, March. He needs to be really attentive to what he's doing and his surroundings and who's there. I kind of do feel like he's not going to be there in that capacity as president till the end of his term. There is also this kind here. So there's definitely contracts coming up, papers to sign, and I feel like these might be peace treaties to do with Russia, or to sign off on some military. I feel like this is like that military stuff coming up for him, around him, and for America. I kind of feel like America is very much divided at the moment. People are at odd ends of war. As a country itself, you guys pride yourself on who you are, and where you guys stand and what you're trying to do, but there's a lot of fracture in the country. And this is not a person that's going to reunite you. This is a person, he's leaving. I just feel like this man is, there's some cards here that indicate, as I said, he won't make it, of him and him leaving in some capacity, some way, some form. So there is cards coming up here that also say to him, and what I feel like too, he's going to be plugged out of the system. He's gone to a different, when he moves on from this, it's not going to be, for him as a person, it's probably not going to be a bad thing for his soul, probably going to be better for his soul when this happens, that I see him moving on. And he is, I just feel like he's a bit of a trickster as well. And even the thing that I saw about, I've seen recently about his son coming out, he's going to try and do smoke and mirrors with that. He's going to try and calm it down. But I feel like he's done a lot of damage, and he wasn't. When in history, when people who are of authority put other people as a front man and they want to control them, it doesn't work out good. And I find this won't work out good. I feel like by September, we're in a different world where we've got different things going on. He's very stubborn. He wants to win, but I feel like he might lose as well. And we're all watching this show. We're all watching what's going on, and it's going to continue. But there's definitely, as I said, there's people pulling the strings like around him, trying to do all the work. I kind of feel like he might be a bit lazy as well. I kind of feel like he's a bit of a lazy person, that he doesn't really do much. And he wants everyone to do. Look, I don't know how it all works with the system there in America. I'm not familiar with it. It's different to my system in Australia. I feel like our system's a bit more simple. It's more simplified, very much more simple. I can't get my head around how you guys work with your politics, but I feel like there is a female there. I feel like she's doing all the work. Some female. I don't feel like it's the second in charge lady. I don't feel like it's her. I feel like there's someone else that we don't see, and she's doing all the work for him. And he just sort of gets stressed and gets told what to do, and he goes. But he wants to be loved. I just feel like he wants to be loved, and he's not, or he feels like he's not. And it's really playing on his mind. There's going to be more issues coming up, I feel like, with Russia. I feel like China. I kind of feel like these things are going to start hitting up around May, June, July. And he might be out by then. So I said, I do feel like something in March is going to happen with him. And he's going to, go on to something different, something new. That's potentially, I said, I don't think he's going to last. And he just wants people to follow on, to worship him. But he'll end up in the end, when he finishes this job, he'll end up in a better place. I will say that for him. Okay, gonna leave it there. I keep getting a little civil unrest when I tune into America, to American energy. I just feel like there's going to be some stuff coming up in America, civil unrest. I've been getting it for a while. So there needs to be, as a collective in America, you guys need to come together. You need to be working as one. You need to put differences aside, and you need to establish what you guys want in a nation, as a nation, and where you guys want to go forward. At the moment, everything around you is very crumbling, like it is around the world. But I feel like we always look at America, because America, they're sending Sag, so they come out as being this like big country. But I just feel like you guys need to reunite, come together, and establish what you want to make it to go forth. There's going to be a lot of drama coming up there in your country. I feel like there's going to be decisions that are going to be made by the governments that you're not going to like, and you guys are going to come together, and you guys will fight for your what you want, you guys will succeed. It may take a bit of while, but you will get there. So I do feel like you're coming into a new era, a new way of going and governing as well. Okay, thank you for liking, sharing your comments. If you want me to do any more horoscopes on celebrities, please put in the comment in the section below and I will do them. I'll make other horoscopes for them too. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for liking, sharing in the comments, and I'll see you for the next video. So bye for now.